This is Rick Dassler. I'm your family lender for life, located in Fairfax, Virginia. I'm a mortgage professional. What I do is help my clients and anybody I know get a mortgage plan. And what that means is build wealth and create a lifestyle. I'm here today with Mr. Charles Sullivan, affiliated with Keller Williams. We're in Gaithersburg, Virginia, and Charles is an expert. We're going to talk today, Charles, about renting versus buying. Right now we have a particularly what we call a buyer's market in the Washington, D.C. area. And Charles, talk to us about the advantages of renting versus buying, or maybe the disadvantages. The advantages maybe to purchasing. Talk about that.
Thank you, Rick. The key criterion is how long you expect to stay in the Washington area. If you think that you might want to be here a year or two, it makes perfect sense to rent and not to make a commitment to buy.
Sure.
If you were to have to sell in the short term, 12 to 24 months, you would probably end up losing money.
Yeah.
That's why many people will choose to rent.
Yeah, I can see that. I always tell people ask me the same question as a mortgage professional, and I always say, you can't lose if you're going to stay in the house for 4 or 5 years. I mean, it's, you're probably real good on that. And again, we're talking about, when to time the market with rates, and when to time the market with, are we going to see any more recession in value? What would be an advantage to purchasing? I mean, if all things are equal, and I'm talking about the cost of a mortgage or the cost of a rental, what's the advantage of purchasing?
It's kind of hard to figure out if all things are equal. People that are in higher tax brackets are always incentivized to have mortgages as opposed to having rental payments because of the tax deductibility. Secondly, if you plan to stay in a particular area for any length of time, 3 years plus, you have the opportunity to build equity. So the tax break plus the chance to create value in the house that you purchase makes it worthwhile to purchase in most cases. Okay.
And, recently we've seen, crazy appreciations in the last 4 or 5 years, and I'm talking about, from 2000 on to maybe 2005. That's not necessarily the case now, but what would you say, if you were to guess, a normal appreciation rate in a normal market?
Historically, the Washington area has seen appreciation rates in the 5% range per year.
I always think, and again, this is more of a question and answer, what your opinion is, it might do about, usually beats inflation by a little bit. Do you feel the same way? Is that always the case?
It has not always been the case. Yeah. In the 1990s, when we were blessed with low inflation, even when housing prices were fairly flat, the maximum somebody could lose in a year might have been 1 or 2% in price depreciation. Contrast that to the early part of this decade, where the Washington area was seeing gains of anywhere between 15 and 25% a year.
Gotcha.
Those good years, and we had about 4 or 5 of them in a row, easily wiped out the entire decade of the 1990s. So, for instance, you could have bought a house in 1990, seeing no appreciation to the year 2000. Then the year 2000, you might have seen annual increases on the range of 10 to 15% over a period of 5 years.
Right.
It's a spectacular run-up in value and a creator of wealth for many hundreds of thousands of property owners in this area.
That's true, yeah. If you want to find out more, if you want a free consultation to find out if it makes sense to either rent or to purchase, no obligation. Charles, how do you reach you?
Just reach out and touch my toll-free number. It's 888-590-5570. Or you may email me at charles@kw.com.
Okay, great. And if you want mortgage professional help, my email address is located also. It's serving neighbors with an S at the end, at ownershelp, owners, OWNERS, help, HELP.com. Thanks, Charles.
Thank you.